Then you flip it over, so you've had these kind of really interesting experimental pop songs, pop rock songs, experimenting with weird percussion and voice clippings and vocal distortion and weird guitar tuning, but ultimately still accessible to an extent.
Yeah.
The next side, you get into the difficult stuff.
Yeah.
You get into the experimental ambient side, which is where it is. That's where it's at.
Yeah.
You kick off with Warsaw.
Is it Washwara?
Washwara.
That's weird. Anyone who knows how to pronounce it, spell it phonetically in the comments.
Yeah, I remember all know.
This is a bizarre, weird, dark song.
Yeah, it could, just the name conjures up a lot of dark, disturbing imagery.
Yeah.
You know, so it's Warsaw is, you know, the capital city of Poland, and
Well, it's Nazi imagery more noting it.
that's what I get from that. I get like an Auschwitz vibe from it.
Yeah.
Like, you can almost imagine it as being the soundtrack to a film.
Yeah.
In fact, it almost was.
Was it?
A lot of these elements, a lot of the instrumental side, a lot of the basic riffs on like the first side, was part of David Bowie's score for The Man Who Fell to Earth.
Oh yeah.
And the director Nicholas
Roeg
rejected it in favour of a more folksy soundtrack.
Yeah.
Even though I think the more bizarre alien instrumentation of Low would have suited it better.
Don't you knock that film? It's amazing.
I love it, but don't you think, you know, Man of Fell to Earth is an amazing film, but don't you think that with Low as a soundtrack would have just pushed it over the edge?
Nah, I think we'd have been deprived of Low then, isn't it?
True.
Yeah.
But again, I like the mystery of it, where that, like, it's not been 100%. That's not been 100% confirmed.
Yeah.
People give different reports of it, which I like.
Yeah.
And it's never confirmed what songs were going to be on Man Who Fell to Earth and what was new in the studio. Anyway, yeah. So what Warsaw? What
Longest song on the album.
Yeah. Very slow, dark, lumbering, very keyboard based.
Yep.
And yeah, as I said, I get images of like Auschwitz. I can almost imagine this being a soundtrack as like they've been shuffled in to the campus kind of thing. Very dark imagery. And then David Bowie starts singing over it later on, which is incredible. His singing is great, and it's not in any kind of English, any language you can understand. It's just kind of wailing. He's like, "Sola vie." It's great. I love it. Yeah. And then he just starts going mental. I'm not going to even attempt to sing it, but listen to the actual album. He's literally wailing, playing all of his kind of dark, disturbed music. It's very gothic.
Yes. Well, this song was the inspiration, did you know, for the name of Joy Division.
Oh yeah, I was reading that. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
they were originally called Warsaw, and apparently this was one of the reasons why this song.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Massive. I think you can hear a lot of post-punk and dark ambient and stuff in this song.
Definitely. Yeah. But I always get the track listing mixed up at this point because the instrumentals literally just become one big suite basically. You have Weeping Wall.
Weeping Wall.
And you have the final, which is Subterraneans. There's a fourth one as well. Weeping Wall.
You've said Weeping Wall.
Yeah. Weeping Wall. What is the other one called?
Now you see, this is the thing though. We don't have if you had the vinyl and stuff, you just stare at it. Yeah. You know, if you can just put it on your iPod now or something, you know, you can just hear it as one whole suite and stuff.
That's it. That's how I listen to it. I don't really look at the track listing. I just let the songs just.
Well, yes, I think this is definitely an album that suits best being, sitting in the dark or something.
Yeah.
Like I think Ziggy or something, it's like a proper you stare at the album because it's got reveals the story a bit more.
Yeah.
Low is more stark, and it's just it's like an album you listen to it's like a nighttime album, innit? It's like a perfect one of those kind of albums. It's still without any kind of categorization or it's just sort of is what it is, and it's got such a weird, unique atmosphere.
That's it. So I mean, from memory, the next two instrumentals kind of continue a similar style of experimenting with keyboards and weird percussion. I love the percussion of Weeping Wall, which is like a ding ding ding. It sounds like a xylophone they're playing with bells playing in the background. It is really cool. I really love it. And David Bowie again does these kind of really ghostly vocals over the whole thing. On Subterraneans, the final track on the album, he whips out the old saxophone but not like the saxophone like what you used to like from
Driving Saturdays.
Yeah, no, back
cracked act. Is it cracked act? It's like all the way through.
Yeah. It's more like the last gasp of a like saxophone player.
Yeah.
The solo is amazing, and at the end where he's just like bam, bam. And that's it.
Yeah.
So it's like the last wailing of a saxophone player.
Yeah.
You know, but they're so out of this world. It's really hard to describe the instrumentals.
It is.
But you know, I can see for a lot of general, you know, music listening public as maybe a sign that they skip.
Yeah.
And they just listen to the first half, but it really works.
Well, I think this is a weird album because I don't think it would work now. In a way, because it is an album oriented.
It is completely based around the idea of flipping it over.
Well, I don't even think, even the earlier sort of like, the sort of shorter songs, I think you can't just listen to any one of them just like by itself.
Yeah.
They are so short and so sort of like devoid. They're like scrap, like patchwork. They're like, oh, this is one sound, I will move to another now, I'll move to another. And like, it almost feels like, you know, like you couldn't get anything out of it, just sat into it, listened to it like song by song.
That's true.
Because you'd just be like, well, what was that? Because it works. Like the first side, the lyrics paint like one whole picture.
Yeah.
Of like this person at this point in time. Like they all seem to have like recurring imagery and like of like depression and you crash, you know, like crashing your car and
breaking
stuff.
Glass.
Breaking. Yeah, there's like themes of stuff breaking and wanting something new, like Be My Wife or.
Yeah.
And like there's this sort of recurring
a new
stuff.
career in a new town, just that title alone.
Yeah, something. It's like wanting something new and yeah.
Almost like another link to Deadwood. To you know, out of tragedy comes new life.
Comes new life. Yeah. Because it's almost like you could listen to all of his albums from the 70s. Like I don't know. I'm going from like Ziggy to this as like one big story.
Oh yeah.
Almost. You know, it's like it goes from sort of someone at the top. And then like a fall.
The rise and fall.
Yeah, because they are sort of like
the rise and fall of David Bowie.
Yeah, Ziggy and Aladdin Sane are like the heights, and then you've got sort of the weird period where he's questioning himself. Then you've got like a fall with Station to Station. Then you've got like introspective years, and then you've got him rising back to the top. They form a loose sort of, because they are so sort of autobiographical. You have to ignore a few, like Diamond Dogs and Pin-Ups. But the ones where he's actually, you know, putting himself in it and it's actually, like, autobiographical, they do form, I think, some kind of link and story.
I mean, I think Low is the closest you'll ever come to an autobiographical David Bowie album.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like, he doesn't, obviously he's not saying, I took cocaine, you know, he's not singing songs like that. But just in terms of the way the music's presented, and the kind of lyrics he's dealing with, this one is quite the closest you've ever felt to...
being with David
Bowie, him singing about himself, but it's all done through instrumentals and I mean, I'd say a lot of the music was just written just from him like walking around like Berlin and just having thinking, oh, what music could be running through my head while I'm you know, walking around. Personally, I think the instrumental side is stronger on Heroes, but I think they don't reach the same kind of disturbing experimental nature as they do on Low. So I think they're better constructed on Heroes.
Yeah.
Like I love V2 Schneider, which is like a piss take of a Kraftwerk song.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that one. But while I think they're better constructed on Heroes, I don't think they ever achieve the same atmosphere, and they really do work as just like one suite. And I imagine that, like, you know, you're a kid, you just, oh, look, I love David Bowie, and, you know, you've run out and you've bought David Bowie's new album, but like, oh man, I didn't really care for that first side, that was a bit weird and cut and dry, whatever, we'll flip it over and see what happens next, and you get that. Can you even imagine that?
That'd be mental, wouldn't it?
In a pre-internet age, like flipping the vinyl over and you're getting this weird, like, what the fuck am I listening to?
Yeah.
Listen, David Bowie. Did someone get Brian Eno mixed up on here or something? Music for airports.
Music for airports. One of the most influential Bowie albums as well, which seems to be something say on it. Like, this one has aged better than Ziggy and even though I think Ziggy's his best album, this is definitely the one with more influence.
Yeah.
Like, you know, people are still catching up with this. Like, like the distortion on the vocals and stuff sort of almost sort of prefigures the whole like use of auto-tune in pop music.
Yeah, it actually does, yeah.
And like short fragments of songs were like quite big in the 90s, like bands like, I don't know, Guided by Voices or something, where all the songs are like 2 minutes.
And the whole ambient, bringing ambient electronica to a wider audience, bringing krautrock to a wider audience. You know, a lot of the album is influenced by krautrock, and bringing that to a wider audience, and the work of bands like Kraftwerk.
Yeah.
I mean, David Bowie famously said that the only music he listened to during this period was New and Kraftwerk.
Yeah.
And that was it, basically. So, yeah, fascinating album. Endlessly interesting.
Endlessly amazing, full of great depth and wonder. In my David Bowie scale, it's probably number 2 after Ziggy. A lot of people, do you prefer this to Ziggy, or?
I prefer it to Ziggy.
Yeah.
My favourite one is, oh god, my favourite is too difficult.
Yeah.
I'll put Heroes as my favourite, actually.
Okay.
I prefer Heroes to Low.
Yeah.
I think the first side is stronger.
Yeah.
I don't think the musically the instrumental side is stronger.
Yeah.
And it's a perfect combination of all the experimentation. Plus, it's got My Man Fripp on it.
Your Man Fripp.
What more could you want?
Yeah.
Robert Fripp allowed to do whatever the fuck he wants on a massive budget.
Yeah.
It goes mental on that album.
Yeah.
There's a really I'll leave it for Heroes.
Okay.
No, actually, I'll tell you. There's a really cool story.
This is like an advert for the Heroes.
This is awesome. Just so you know, it's how nerd I am. But Robert Fripp obviously was part of King Crimson, and King Crimson fell apart in the mid-70s because it was unsustainable, basically. They just couldn't keep going, and Robert Fripp hadn't picked up a guitar for about 4 or 5 years until he got a call from Tony Visconti saying, "Oh, Robert, come out to Berlin," and we wanted to play on David Bowie's new album, and Robert Fripp was a bit like, "What the fuck?" So he picked up a guitar for about 5 years, and he went into the studio, and the first thing he performed was Beauty and the Beast, the opening track from Heroes, which is a stomper. It's mental, and he was just allowed to go nuts, basically.
Yeah.
So that's a preview for Heroes, which will be the next one, presumably.
But yes, Low, 10?
10.
Out of 10.
Easy 10,
It's a stunning, brilliant album. Anyone who hasn't got it, get it. It's great.
Pure and simple.
Pure and simple.